Okay, I want to show you a soft gray look. I don't think I've shown you anything in the grays, and we're going to use pigments today. I chose a bright lip because I'm going to be doing a softer eye look, and this is Skittish. I'm not sure it's my color, but we're going to try it. I've already done my primer on my face, and I have done foundation and blush and my highlighting and contouring. You see? But now we'll get started for our eyes. When I use pigments, which we're going to do, I like to put my Glorious Primer on my eyes right before I do that. It just gives the pigments, since they are loose, a little something more to stick to. So the pigments we're going to use will be Vulnerable, Naive, Risque, and then Curious as a highlight. And I'll use my Mineral Concealer in Fresh just to blend all those colors. So we'll get started here. To begin with, I'm going to start with Naive. But first, let's do the primer on our eyes, like I just told you, right? Okay. Like I said, our pigments are loose, so this primer is going to just help give them something to grab a hold of and stay on your eyes and keep it on all day. And no creasing. So we'll start with Naive, and I'm going to put this on my whole lid, this really soft gray color, and I'm going to wet my brush, use the Deluxe brush for this, and just dip it into my pigment. Remember, I've told you, using pigments, you always want to tap that off to keep from getting some fallout on your face. So I will just press that onto my lid. This is a matte color. Okay. And then we'll do the other one. The noise you hear is me tapping my brush off on the pigment. So normally I use more of a shimmer on my lid, but since this is matte, I can go ahead and do it first, and I'll do my crease color next. So normally I would do the crease color first. Alright, and for that I'm going to use the Vulnerable, the really soft pink. And I'm going to use a crease brush. And I've told you, I don't go right in my crease, just because if you see my eyes, if I went right in the crease, which would be here, you wouldn't see it at all. So I go right above the crease. This is more of a transition color, because I will be using the Risque next. It's such a pretty color. If you saw my Double Duty series, you'll know that this color also can be used as a blush. And before we came out with our pressed blushes, this is what I always used. I really love this pink color. Just bring that down the corners just a little bit. You don't see that a lot, but that's okay. Like I said, it's just a transition. Then next we're going to go with the Risque, pretty gray. Before our palettes came out, this was one of my everyday colors. I loved this color. We're going to do this really light and easy, but it will be so easy to change this into a deeper, more nighttime look. You could either do it with the Risque, or you could add another color. But if you would just wet your brush before using Risque, it's going to go on much deeper. I'm just putting this more in the outer V. And I did wet my brush just a little bit. You can see how much darker that went on. You don't have to do that. You can just leave it, just the really light color. I like to put it here in the outer V just to make your eyes appear a lot bigger and farther apart. Now do put it on my outer lid. Okay. Then I'm going to take the vulnerable again and just kind of blend that a little bit. Soften it back up just a tad. All right. I also like to take my concealer brush and just kind of clean that up, make my lines a little more precise. Okay. And next I'm going to take my angled, has a sponge on one end and an angled brush on the other, and that's what I use to try to blend everything, and I use the Fresh concealer for that just because it's a really light matte color. You can also use the pigment in Innocent for this. It's pretty much the same color, but I like using the Fresh because it's such a big container and it's going to last forever. I'm not sure if you can see, I hope so, the difference where the pink and the gray come together. I can see it in my mirror. I don't know if you can see it on camera or not. Let's see. Just want to even that up just a bit. Okay. Next, what I'm going to use is our Curious to highlight just right under my brows. Curious, it does have a little shimmer to it, so I like to use that just right under my brow here. And then I had already lined my brows, and I always wait until after I do the highlighting color to use my gel. That way if I have any shimmer in my brows, then this will help get it out. Alright, and next we're going to come back to the Risque in just a second, but I'm going to line my upper lids with our liquid liner in Powerful. It's our soft gray color. It's really nice. I love the liquid liners, and I think this will just last you all day. You can also use the Risque Wet to line this if you don't want to go with the more bold line of the liquid liner, but that's what I like, so that's what I'm going to do today. Just a thinner line. I'm not going really thick with this because, like I said, this is just for a day look. But I love these liners. If you haven't tried them, you should really. We have this, and we have a black, and we have a brown, then a pretty green, and also a blue. That there's something for everyone. So just see which one you'd like to try. Now, I like to take a Q-tip and just kind of fix that line a little bit if it's not exactly right. You want to do that while it is still wet because, like I said, this liner stays on, so you want to do that while it's wet so you can still move it around really easy. Another tip with these liquid liners, you want to store them with the tip down. That way, all the product stays down on the tip, so it's always ready to go. Okay, got the upper lids lined. And to line my lower, I'm going to use the liner end of the liner shader brush. And first, just to kind of tie everything together, I'm going to use the Vulnerable. I'm not going to wet my brush or anything with that, and I'm just going to lightly line right under there. Just kind of tie all the colors together. I'll do it a little more smudgy than I'll do the other, so. And then, before I do the risque, I will just rub my brush like I've been doing on a wet washcloth, then dip it into the risque, and cap that off, and just line the outer edges, the outer corners of my lower lashes. Not quite halfway is what I'm doing. See, there we go. I'm not going to do my mascara on the video because you've seen me do it. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to show you those videos. But that's just a really quick light look, soft look for daytime. And like I said, you can take that to evening really easy. If you have any questions, want to know how to do that, let me know. I'll be glad to show you. And with our pigments, I did use 4 different pigments. And I don't know if you know, but you can buy a set of pigments, so you'll save a little money if you buy it in a set of 4. So, if you want any help with that, please just let me know. And thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day.